He now struggles to breathe, hurting all over, but thankful he's alive. Garrett Moses woke up in this Anchorage hospital bed on Saturday. He has a broken neck, broken hand, and broken foot. But it's not his pain that stands out most. It's the sound of screaming that still fills his ears more than 48 hours after the plane crash.
I could hear the women crying. I could hear Melanie Coffey saying her baby's gone. And I could hear like somebody was breathing, and their last breaths they let it all out, and that was the last I heard out of them.
The last breaths taken by 65-year-old Richard and 57-year-old Rose Pulte. And 25-year-old Melanie Coffey was screaming for anyone who could help her baby, 5-month-old Wyatt, who was not able to be resuscitated. It had just been over a half hour after Moses and 8 other passengers had boarded the Cessna 208 expecting to reach Mountain Village. Moses was looking forward to a new beginning and returning home. He had just gotten out of jail after 28 days behind bars. He says he's never gotten used to flying and sat nervously as the plane took off from Bethel. He was seated near the front of the plane and was reading his Bible for comfort.
After 30 to 35 minutes, I was wondering how come the fog was getting so thick, and we kept flying in the fog. And I was wondering how come it was getting so thick, and the pilot would constantly check out the sides of the plane, and I noticed it was getting pretty iced up. I looked up at the pilot. I noticed his light was off, and the only light you could see was with the instruments. And so out of respect, I turned my light off, and I put my Bible away, and I looked out, and I wondered how come we were so low to the ground.
Moses says that's all he remembers prior to the crash, and when he woke up, he remembers the cold touch of snow shooting through his fingers, the smell of fuel stinging his nostrils, and feeling hopeless.
Melanie Coffey was the one that saved us all. With her broken ankle, she walked. I don't know how far. I think I was there for a good hour, half an hour.
Moses says Melanie Coffey reached help and led the troopers to the crash site where emergency workers immediately jumped in.
Trooper cut me out of the seat from the top and bottom, and they tried lifting it up and they couldn't. And then they tried one more time and they pulled me out from underneath the plane.
From there, Moses' memory fades again. He remembers being put on a stretcher with rescuers encouraging him to stay awake and keep his eyes open. There wasn't enough room in the ambulance, so Moses rode in the back of a pickup truck on the way to the St. Mary's Airport, about 4 miles away.
I thought I was going to die. That's why I started praying, asking God to forgive me.
Moses thinks his challenges have brought him closer to God, and even now, surrounded by pain and coping with the death of friends, he's looking forward to the future, and once his foot heals, a chance to walk a changed path. Garrett Turner, Channel 2 News.